But new Quinnipiac polls show what Americans really think about the president's plan. 51% of Americans disapprove of President Biden's vaccine plan across the private and public sectors. 48% of Americans think that President Biden's vaccine plan goes too far. 39% think it's about right. Again, the Biden administration says weekly testing is an alternative at this point. Joining us now, Rick Manning, the president for Americans for Limited Government, also a town hall contributor. Rick, welcome to the program. Thanks for coming on today. What's your take on the president's plan?
Well, first of all, I think the president's plan is unconstitutional, but I don't think there's a lot of people who are talking about the real reason why. It parallels very closely to John Roberts' Obamacare decision. OSHA, which is the Occupational Safety Health Administration out of Department of Labor, is authorized under the Constitution based on the Commerce Clause. And what Roberts found in the Obamacare decision was that the Commerce Clause could not be utilized, that Obamacare was unconstitutional under the Commerce Clause. You'll remember he came back and said, but because it's a tax, that Congress could authorize a tax. So he made it legal under a taxation clause, but not under the Commerce Clause. OSHA is a Commerce Clause authorized agency, and so this has grave constitutional problems.
Yeah, we've had Professor Alan Dershowitz come on the program, and he's questioned it as well. He says it will likely go to the High Court, and he doesn't know exactly how the High Court could rule on this decision. He also says perhaps it could come down to the legislature coming up with their own laws in regards to putting these mandates in place or requirements in place. Do you think that could be a possible outcome, again, going through Congress?
Yeah, well, Congress is where it should go. You know, this is an emergency mandate by a government agency. There's absolutely no comment period. None of the regulatory processes are being upheld. What's more, 22 states in this country have separate independent OSHAs that don't have to follow what federal OSHA says. So at the very best, under Biden's opinion, you would end up actually covering about 28 states rather than the full country, because state OSHAs will be able to say, we're not doing it, this isn't a regulation.
Well, we've already seen some pushback from states. Arizona specifically became the first state to sue the Biden administration over this policy. The state's attorney general writing this, saying, although the precise contours of the federal vaccination mandates are not yet clear, the violation of the Equal Protection Clause is already evident and egregious. Again, I believe it was Brnovich who was citing the fact that migrants crossing into the southern border didn't necessarily have to prove their vaccination status, and yet it was required of American employees. Your thoughts on this case and perhaps the outcome?
Yeah, well, the fact is that people coming across the border, 30% of them are saying no to the vaccination. That's from the Border Patrol. So there is an equal protection violation here. What the Biden administration would argue is that since this only applies to employees of 100 companies that have 100 employees or more, that everybody who doesn't fit into that description is equally treated. Hence, there would not be that it wouldn't be under the Equal Protection Clause. But I'll let the Supreme Court figure that out. That's above my pay grade.
Okay, really interesting setup, though, and we will be watching that very closely. Rick Manning joining us live on the program. Rick, thank you very much.
Thank you. My pleasure. Take care.
You too.